I hope this bike is the one that everybody has been asking for, because I keep on getting cheaper and cheaper, and it doesn't fail that somebody says, well, that's a little bit too much. If this one's too much, I just don't know what to tell you. The Likebike Seeker S. Let's go ahead and jump into it.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
Likebike reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do a review on this bike. I normally wouldn't say yes to such a bike, except I've had so many people that have wanted something cheaper than what I've reviewed. We've reviewed bikes that have been $2,500, $2,000, $1,800, $1,500, $1,000, $900, $800, and I had a whole slew of them just recently that were all in the $700, $800 range, and I talked about what a great deal those were, and yet I've had people that saying,
that's too much money.
Well, this one, at time of filming, there's going to be a link in the description. You might be able to get it cheaper by going through the link. Now, of course, the bike is going to have some consolations based on the fact that their price is so inexpensive compared to what I've just talked about and these other bikes that I've done reviews on. But I had to see this. I had to see what you get for that money. And these things have been selling really heavily on Amazon, and I think it has to do with the price. And again, I've talked about this on previous models. It was amazing on those $700, $800 models I just did reviews on, how much you get for that money now. Whereas just 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, that same type of bike that I just did reviews on that were $800, I would have had to pay $1,300 to $1,800 for. Oh man, that's crazy. Now, the pricing on this fluctuates a lot. So again, use the link in the description, see if that gets you the cheapest way. If not, go to the other link that's down in the description a little bit further, which will be for Amazon most likely, and see if that is a little bit more online with what you want to pay. Now, the best part about this, and it's a worst part, I guess, I know that there's a little bit more involved with putting this together. Usually when we get these bikes, the forks have already been assembled to the bike itself, and there's very minimal at that point that has to be done. You just install the front tire and wheel and fender, and then the headlight, and sometimes the handlebars. Well, in this case, you've got to assemble all of that. Now, the good news is they've already done a very detailed full assembly video that they have posted on YouTube, and it's done by the company. It's not done by some schlup like me. It's done by the company that actually, you know, builds these things or has these things imported into the US. So this is nice that you can follow along through a video and it can show you how to assemble it. So I don't think there's very many tools involved or anything like that, but I'm going to go ahead and break this open. We'll see if we can get a good look at all the parts, and then from that point I'll just put it together. That'll be off camera, and then we'll give you some thoughts on the bike. So let me get into it. All right, so this is pretty standard as far as the packaging goes on this, and as I thought, you could see that there is no forks or handlebar assembly or anything like that put together as of yet, so that's going to have to be done. And of course, we got to cut off all these wire ties and free up the parts from each other. Packaging looks pretty good though. I do see where there was an intrusion over here where the handle is. I don't think that's much of a big deal. They do have a boss on the front end that has some tapped screw holes that you can put bolts to hold a rack of some kind or a basket. I think they have some aftermarket things that can go on here. And inside the box is pretty much the standard stuff that you always get with these bikes. Of course, your pedals. This is a 2 amp charger. It's 42 volts. And then your user manual, you got some wire ties there, a couple of nut covers, Allen wrenches, and then some standard style open end wrenches, which are metric in size. And then of course your seat, which it's wide. It doesn't look like there's a lot of padding on it, but again, we're talking about the cheapest electric bike that I have ever assembled. I have to say, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. Now, some of the components, I get it. The tires, what brand are they? They're no brand. I mean, they literally have no name on them. It's okay. As long as they hold air and they do the job, I'm all right. Look how bright that taillight is. And it flashes with the brakes. It used to be you wouldn't even get a brake light or a tail light. And if you did, it would just be solid. It wouldn't be activated by the brakes. All these prices are coming down hard. It's amazing. So where's this thing going to lack? Well, you guys want numbers, I'm sure. I get it. It's a 350 watt motor. The peak on it is 540 watts. That's very anemic. However, I'm going to show you that my big butt can ride on this thing and it can move me. I don't pedal, guys. I may pedal to start it, you know, to get it away from the light, the traffic light to get going, but I don't pedal. I'm 6 foot and I weigh 289 pounds. And I'm gonna balance my big butt on this thing and ride it and show you that it's perfectly capable. The front shocks on it are pretty darn good. I was surprised. Now they're not adjustable, but even with my big butt on there, again, they do a good job. The headlight up front is very bright. It's one of the reasons I wanted to move it into the shade. And I want to show you something that I was shocked about. But before I do, let me also give you the battery size. This is not one of those long journey batteries. What you're going to get is 36 volts. It's 9 amp hours. I'm okay with that. Now, as far as the riding modes, I don't even know really what that is. I just know that they have pedal assist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you want, you can go into the system using the plus and minus button, and you can go to, I believe, P6, and you'll see that it says 20 miles per hour. If you do the I button and push it at that point in time, that will lock your keypad into that mode, and then you can push it up to 31 miles an hour, and that should get you to where you might be able to do 23 or 24 miles per hour instead of 20. They're saying that the max load on this is 330 pounds. I can believe it, but man, it's amazing. It is a 7-speed Shimano. Everything went together really well. I was surprised. I like the idea that it has a button here that you can turn off the battery. It also has a UL certification, which is something that most people that have lithium-ion batteries should be looking for. That's an important thing. They say the bike is 58 pounds. That's about right. I like the idea that they have put together this bike in a step-through version, or, of course, a crossbar version, like you would see a high step, so they call it. I'm a low bar kind of guy. It's just easier for me, especially if I have something on the back. Don't get me wrong, I can't swing my foot over. It's just, you know, most people that are staying this budget, they're going to throw a milk crate on the back. Now that milk crate will stand that tall, so that means I got to throw my leg up and over that milk crate also. I don't really feel like doing that. It does have front and rear disc brakes. They're cable activated. They do okay. They stop me. And again, I'm heavy, so it's pretty good that this thing can stop me. The battery does remove with keys. That's what the keys are for. You can see it's kind of a unique looking thing there. And that's all that does. That just removes the battery. So you can charge it, you know, take it into the office and charge it for the day. And then, of course, it being a smaller battery, you might be, you know, wanting to do that. But you don't have to. The plug is right here. That's the charging port. You can plug into the bike with the battery still in it. So it really don't make too much of a difference. But shocking, that's what I told you, shocking. This display is incredible. I've got bikes that are, you know, $2,000 that the display is not this good. I don't know how well this is going to come off at camera, but let me go ahead and show you what it looks like in sunlight. Whoop, it just turned off. That's funny. But yeah, let me show you what this thing looks like in the sunlight. There you go. And I'm telling you, the sun is brilliant right now. It's right there. And I can read this easily from this distance. Again, I don't know what comes out on camera, but I can read this fine. And here's the kicker. The protective screen is still on it. And yet it's still so easy to see. I am shocked about that. It is a thumb throttle. I prefer the thumb throttles. Some of the twist throttles are okay, but I prefer the thumb throttle. But it's a nice bike. It's very small. It looks like that it would be something that if for some reason you did run out of battery, that you could potentially pedal this like a bike and it not be overly horrible. I've got some cargo bikes and some folding bikes that the last thing I want to do is have to pedal them whenever they run out of juice. And this one looks a little bit more comfortable. So let me go ahead and hop on this thing, take it for a ride, and see how it does. Just going around the block real quick. Okay, so I went on my little ride and it fits me pretty good. I would definitely put a different seat on there, make it a little bit more comfortable. We do that with all our bikes though. Doesn't really make a difference which one we have. And again, I'm 6 foot, 289 pounds. Heidi is about 5'4". And you can see it's easy. Go ahead, try to get on there. That's simple. That's so easy. So,
can we take a little spin?
Sure. I'm just going to go for a little spin. All right. It's very quiet. The bike's extremely quiet, which I'm shocked. And here she comes back. Cruising right along. I'm telling you, that light is bright on there. So, what do you think about how quiet it is?
Quiet.
It's not very fast.
I didn't try to go fast, so.
Fastest I could get it to go was like 21, 22.
Oh, well, that's not bad.
I know.
I mean, that's good for.
It's just a little 350 watt motor. It's the same motor size we have in our Segway scooters.
Huh?
But as far as the,
I mean, it gets up and goes.
as far as the ergonomics for you, feel pretty good.
It's pretty good.
The seat.
Seat's a little tall,
Yeah.
but that's on a lot of bikes for me.
So this is our thoughts on this. You guys have been screaming $500. We get a lot of that. Well, here you go. It's under $500. I don't know how much cheaper you could possibly want and still expect to get something, but not bad. So hop on this quick, jump on this right away, because we found in the past when we get something that's really, really cheap like this, they'll start getting a lot of interest and a lot of sales, and then all of a sudden the prices start creeping up. And I'm going to tell you that this bike should be selling for $500.
Yeah.
maybe even closer to 6.
It seems very well put together.
Yeah, we've had enough. We definitely know. All right, so we're closing this out. So as always, guys,
Hope to see you out there. Bye.